A man embarks upon an endeavor. He wonders, will I succeed? Will I make it? Do I have what it takes? These questions are ineffective. The reason they are ineffective is because implicit in such questions is a belief that is so fundamental, it slips by unnoticed. The belief that gives rise to such questions is that there is some external agency that will decide if one becomes successful or not. Be it fate, a governing body, a team, a board of directors, a general manager, or even talent itself. There is a belief that there is some hurdle that one must get over. There is a belief that there is someone or something to satisfy in order to arrive at the promised land. A player who wants to play in the NBA thinks, I have to get to the point that I am good enough to make it to the NBA. A golfer thinks, I have to get to a particular level of skill so that I can defeat my competition and earn a PGA Tour card. In order to walk a path of truth, a man must arrive at a genuine answer to a genuine question. The question is, what is it that I truly desire? Do I desire my craft, or do I desire success? Are they mutually exclusive? Yes and no. A man may desire his craft and never become successful in a worldly sense. He may spend his life pursuing his craft, homeless and blissful. This is a romantic notion. And, quite frankly, I find it to be far more desirable than working a 9-to-5 job in order to make a paycheck, which allows one to survive so that he can continue to work his 9-to-5 job. This is a slow and circuitous death. Having said this, I find it wasteful for a man to truly desire his craft and not become a worldly success at it. But if one desires success itself, this can be a dangerous situation, for it tends to be a situation in which the man is trying to overcome a deep-seated feeling of inadequacy. Success for success' sake leaves one feeling hollow, and he spends his entire life on a chase that has no end. Purity tends to take a man a long way, and purity combined with practicality tends to take one straight to the top. For instance, a man who pursues his craft purely will learn more than any other man. But he will reach a point where his purity must adhere to certain practical dimensions if he is to make a worldly success of his craft. For there will necessarily be some skills that have high yield and some that have low yield. If he pursues the low yield skills because of his pure passion for them, this will place a limitation upon him. It will place a ceiling on his worldly success. But if he combines his passion for his craft and pursues the high yield skills with the same vigor, he will have no limits. As a result, success is not about succeeding. For succeeding implies the possibility of failure. Allow me to stop you before you wander into the murky domain of positive thinking. It must be clear that in no shape or fashion am I saying that one should think positively about succeeding and not allow his mind to wander toward failure. I am not speaking of succeeding. I am speaking of the inevitability of success. To me, there is nothing more dry and mundane than lucking into success, and nothing more captivating than creating the conditions for its inevitable arrival. Hard work and struggle are empty and romantic notions of the unserious. Inevitability is for the mature and the serious. The overwhelming majority of humans practice for practice sake. They practice because they fear being out-practiced by their competition. They practice for the same reason that the religious pray to God, not for the love of the craft and not for the love of God, but out of fear of what may happen if they do not. It is all about honesty and truth. The light must be shone brightly on the darkest corners of the human psyche. The man who works hard, practices, and competes will fail and fail and fail, even if he becomes world-class. And before the mind can condemn him for his failures, he will jump aboard the bandwagon of societal doctrine, which says that failure is good and necessary. More empty romanticism. Shall we speak truth? Experimentation is necessary. Failure is not. A man may try 1,000 experiments in search of arriving at a particular truth, and each return to the drawing board is an arrival at a new level. The first 999 experiments may prove fruitless, but not a single one of them is a failure. A man may compete 5 times. He may win 2 out of the 5 times, but all 5 are failures, because he did not arrive at a truth. He did not figure out the game. He threw darts at a board and lucked into victory. Understand this. This does not have the power to sustain the human spirit. For the rest of his life, this player will play game after game, having no idea of the outcome before any of them begins. He will win some and lose some. This is so foundational that this has become a common societal tenet. You win some, you lose some. I cannot imagine anything in this world more boring than this. 2 players say, "You have not mastered this craft, and I have not either. So the only option we have is to compete for the prize. So let's fight." A player who does not practice is uncertain about the outcome of the event. He is uncertain because he has not practiced, and thus perhaps not acquired the requisite level of skill. This is understandable. But if a player practices and is still uncertain, of what use is his practice? As I have said before, my ways are strange to the world. To most humans, I live on Saturn. And quite frankly, I am content with Saturn. For kindly forgive, but I do not understand the logic of this world. I am sensitive to reason and logic, but society asks for leaps of faith, which I'm afraid I cannot grant. Success is not about succeeding. It is the natural offspring of learning. The game of games, not about hoping and competing for a desired outcome. It is about devoting one's life to orchestrating the inevitability of it.